G'day and welcome back. Today I've got this rather large Philips here. I'm guessing it'll be 60s, mid-60s. Of course it has the volume on that side. There's a bass, I would think there, some piano keys, treble, tuning, and it's got some kind of graphic equalizer presets there, stereo and mono. And of course we've got the Magic Eye there. The dial is very typical. It's got all the country names there. I think that's long wave, that is medium wave, short wave, and the bottom one there is FM. The FM seems to only go to 100. The case is in really good condition. It's original, but very nice condition. Has a vinyl top here, which apart from a few stains over there, is in really good conditions. They may come out, those stains, but that's not my job to worry too much about the outside. This was bought by the gentleman about 10 years ago. He said everything worked fine then, but over the last 10 years it's developed some issues. So I'll tell you what the issues were. The piano keys are a bit intermittent. The tone controls don't seem to work. The Magic Eye is not working properly, and he doesn't get AM very well. He also said the tone indicators don't work. They should change colour or something as you rotate the knob. So yeah, that's not working anymore. Both have stopped working, so I'm not sure what's going on there. We'll find out. Now, I've just got a camera around the back here. It's very typical of the Philips sets, or any of the sets really. There's an aerial and tape and external speakers, etc. I'm not going to turn it around. This thing's too big and heavy to rotate. I'll put some power on and we'll see what it does. Alright, it's ready to go. I've got it in dim bulb for no reason. He's been using this set every day. Needs some power, so I'll put it on medium wave. So, you know, it really doesn't need it. That bulb's behaving normally. I'll hit it with full power. I've rigged up a very basic looking antenna system here that's FM. It's going into the FM aerial ports, and it's linked up in a way that it also feeds the AM, but not very well. So maybe that's the problem. So there's noise there. So we're on medium wave. And there's nothing there. No one home. There should be something around here, around the 200. Nothing. Let's give it a go on FM. I'll just turn it down a bit. Oh, there you go.
Dreams as well.
That's right, and it doesn't have to be rugby, it can be any sport, any activity. Even that, it doesn't have to be sport. Like,
Sounds good. That's FM. So that's working. This is the antenna input, and there's a little chart in there to show you how to configure this little tab to suit what aerials you've got. This is set at the moment to feed an FM signal in here, and it'll bleed a little bit off to the AM. So I'll change this back so we can feed a signal directly into the AM and see if that fixes it. I have absolutely no doubt it won't. So I've moved it up there. I'll just tighten that up. So now I can put the AM directly into the AM socket. Alright, I'll turn it back on again. It's warmed up now. I'll just see if it's going to work, which I don't think it will. And get them a static. No, there's nothing there. I'll try it on shortwave. No, nothing there. Long wave. You should be able to pick up the nav beacons. Yeah, nothing there. Nothing at all. So what that means is the local oscillator isn't working, and it's not working on any of the AM frequencies. When you select one of these keys, it changes the coils, the local oscillator coils. So the problem is before the coils, it'll be either the valve or low voltage at the valve, something like that. So the signal's getting through, but it's not getting super heterodyned with the local oscillator, because that's not working. So I'll take it out of the case. We'll see what's going on. Now, trying to get the chassis out. This particular model goes out the front of the radio. I've got it halfway out here. I had to undo the wires for the speaker, so it's actually ready to come out. I'll turn it around. We should be able to get it out. I've spun it around, so hopefully it'll come out. Here's the bottom view. I can see some old waxy caps over here. Well, there's some Phillips caps. They should be okay. Well, they might be okay. But there's wax ones here. There's a couple of others I've seen. But I want to have a look at the mixer, and I think that's it there. There's the IF amp, so that'll be the mixer. Just a very quick look at this schematic. This over here is the antenna section, or the aerial section. There's the tuning capacitor for that. And here's the tuning capacitor for the local oscillator. These are the local oscillator coils. So it's somewhere here. We know these coils, well, none of them are working, so we can hopefully assume the problem is up here. So on this point here, which I think is valve pin 8, is 136 volts. The signal should be here. So I'll measure that and we'll see if the signal's there. I'm using the speakers out of the radio. I've got the case at the back here and I've connected the speakers back up so we can hear it. This one's the mixer converter valve. This is pin number 8. Now it should have 130 or something, 136. 200. The one next to it is number 9. That should have the signal on it. So if I just put my oscilloscope there, we have got nothing. So that one's medium wave. I'll put it on long wave. No, and let's see if I can get it on short wave. There we go. And nothing. There's nothing there. So I think the easiest thing to do is change the valve. See if that fixes it. I've put a new valve in. We'll see what it does. That should have dropped, I would hope. Oh, it's only 87. It should be higher than that. Okay, that's interesting. All right, I'll have a look with the oscilloscope again, just for demonstration purposes, really. And it's full. Now, I didn't have to put that on there. I've just clipped it so I can adjust the oscilloscope. There it is. Beautiful. Now, this is on long wave. That was medium wave. So, if I can get it up there. And turn it up a bit. I'll just put the knob on and tune it around a little. Let's turn it up a bit.
And that's why we're standing in this election.
6 people have died following a shooting in the US.
That's working good.
Use of force must come. Both methods. The fortress mentality of those who wield power.
Good. That's working very well.
Don't work. We are now.
I've turned that off. It's late. I'm going to go to bed. I'll turn this over in the morning. We'll have a bit of a play with it, see what else is wrong with it. But yeah, it's just the valve. Excellent. The owner sent me an email with the list of things that he thought was wrong with it. I've done the AM, that's now working, so I've ticked that off. It says here balance control not working, tone controls not working. So I think I know what's wrong with both of those. I've got the radio on, and what it is this is a mono radio. It just has a stereo amplifier. So it's mono FM, mono AM of course. So all that is going to come out mono. The balance control won't work unless you're on phono. I've rigged up my phone on some royalty-free music. I have got the phone playing into the DIN socket on the back, and as I showed you, it's set to phono or external. I'll change my microphone from area stereo to direct stereo, so we should be able to pick this up. All right, here we go. Well, that shows it. The balance is working perfectly as it's supposed to. Alright, now the tone controls. The owner says they don't work. So I'll start the music again. I'll turn it down. Now the owner said that you needed to have this button pushed before the tone would work. So I'll push this button and we'll see if the tone works. I'll turn it up a little. It's not having any effect. So I thought maybe he meant this button. Push that one. No effect. Let's try the last one. No effect. So I looked at the circuit and I realised the only way this is going to work is if all these tone buttons are out. So I thought, oh, okay, you push it and one will come out. They don't do that. You've got to push two at once. Now they'll work. Turn it up a bit more. As you can see, they work now. So you've got to remember this is a Philips, anything can happen. So there's no method of getting them all out at once unless you double press it. I don't quite get that, but that's how it is. And I did a bit of Googling after that, and I found on Radio Museum, they said that, yeah, that's right, they've all got to be out before it works. But that's what the circuit said as well. The circuit also said the balance doesn't work unless you're in this mode here. I'm sorry, I'll just break in here for a second. A few weeks ago, fellow YouTuber Buzz1151 honoured me by using a pair of, allegedly, my underpants
I'm sure I haven't the faintest idea what you're talking about.
to polish the cabinet on the radio he was working on.
You dirty swine!
I'll cross over to Buzz, I'll show you what happened.
Today we have undies, and I received this pair of undies from the land down under. They're from a fellow YouTuber named David Tipton.
G'day, mate.
Oh, David.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh my David, what was that about?
Mr. Poopy Pants.
Well, thank you, Buzz. That's a marvellous insight into my personal life.
My word.
Of course, I'm not alone in this honour. He's used his wife's, he's used his own. Old 64 goats. Hillary Clinton got a mention.
I thought it was extraordinary.
Nancy Pelosi.
What is happening here?
John from Arkansas.
I hope this video is not too long.
And Lockmister. Unfortunately, as with all awards, there's some controversy. The underpants that Buzz used were not mine. Mine are right here, I've still got them. But I really enjoyed watching Buzz's videos. He does a very, very good job. He's got a whiskey-loving gnome that, apart from other things, does stand-up comedy.
Why did the cowboy buy a winter dog? Because somebody told him to get a long little doggy.
He resurrects old 8mm family films.
What's your name, dude?
Richard Kimball.
Oh, damn it. Kimball!
Run, Forrest, run!
Now a fugitive, Richard Kimball must seek out and find the one-armed man.
He has the unusual habit of painting Transformers red.
What would you do with a brain if you had one?
But I will paint the output transformer red.
Well, you devious son of a bitch.
Ay, caramba.
And he stuffs $100 bills in IF cans.
Hi, Benji.
Honestly, Buzz, thank you for the shout out, and I hope some of my subscribers come over there and start to enjoy your content as well. So with that, let's return to our normal scheduled programming. So now we know that the balance is in fact working correctly. The tone controls do work. The tone wheels are stiff. The piano keys and controls need a clean. Well, I can do that. The Magic Eye isn't working. I'm going to leave that until I've changed the capacitors, and we'll see if that's going to work or not. The sliding indicators on top of the dial not working. And what he's referring to is these two windows here, and there's another two windows over here. And if you look in the back, there's a card here that slides along. It's got a string each end. You can see it there. And it's going over there. So I don't know what it's supposed to be doing. Now, the owner thought that that was for the tone controls, that you could see the tone control position up there, which makes sense. But the tone control has nothing on it. There's no pulleys, there's nothing to wrap string around to pull that card across. I think it's to do with the balance. Why you'd want 4 indicators to show you balance, I don't know. To get into there to rewind this, I need to take the glass off. I don't want to, but I can't see any other way around it. And I got the glass off without breaking it. That was good. Here's the little piece of plastic. It's just got brown painted on either end, and it slides across and fills up that. I assume it's balance. Well, it is balance because there's the string going onto the balance control. With the glass off, that's going to be pretty easy to do. I think this is a bit tight and that's why it's come off. This spring should be able to pull it back and it can't. How am I going to do this? It's got the number of turns there. It probably just wraps around this white bit here. There's a little tongue there to put the string on. And the slide here just has the string running through two little tags here. So you could easily adjust it once it's all set up. So I don't have to worry about that. As I said, this is a bit stiffer than it probably needs to be. And I can see the paper runner they've put in here has, you know, come away from the plastic here. So that may be worth replacing. If I let this spring go here, I should be able to slide this right out. I think the best thing to do is take this bracket off, take this whole wheel off, and then I'll be able to work out how it's supposed to go. It only has two screws holding this, so I'll take them out. I should be able to pull the wheel away. I've undone the retaining screw for this balance wheel, if you want to call it that. So the string's wound clockwise, and I can't tell how many wraps it's got on it. Yes, I can. And it's got just two wraps. I should be able to get this spring out of here. There it is. Now hopefully I can slide this out. No, yes. Just looking at this slider now, and it's in pretty poor condition. It's discoloured so much that it's not even going to let the light through. So I thought what I might do is make another one. And I've got this material here. This is a diffuser out of a TV. This was sent up by my friend in Tassie. His name's Steve. He sent me a packet of this stuff up that he's pulled out of old TVs. So I've cut one out to size. And all I need to do is put a bit of paint on there that looks like Mission Brown or something. Put that on there. Put a couple of tabs on there. So what I'm going to use is one of these. These are mounting tabs or tags, whatever you want to call it. And of course it used to look like that. And I've stolen all these ones to put on my rebuilt capacitors. So I've ended up with these two. And I reckon they'll be pretty good. I'll be able to rivet that in there. It has a tiny little hole in the back to locate the tab so it doesn't move around. So I can shape that, make a little like a locator, and I reckon that'll be okay. So I'll go out and just paint that, and I'll rivet these little tabs on here, and I'll come back and we'll have a look and see how I went. There's the original, and this is mine that I've made up. And it's pretty good, not bad. So I'm going to keep this original one, and if this doesn't work, I can just put that straight back in. I have a new piece of dial string. I've got the spring tied to the end there, so just a matter of threading that through there. I should be able to get that in this way, I think. I've drawn a pencil line there, so I just need to line those up when I set this up. And I can attach the little spring at the end there. There we are. I'll put the wheel back on. There's the centre there. So that should go there, and then I'll wrap this around once and come out this hole here. I've just stopped here. I don't know how this is going to work because that needs to pull the string that way. You need to hook it and it comes back this way. So I'm not 100% sure how this is going to work. This little string has sent me on a head scratching expedition. Whoever wound it last time and it had failed had simply gone from this point here around the dial a few times and then back to this spring over here, this attachment point. And I reasonably quickly worked out that all we had to do was pull this string and the spring down this end would pull it back to position. So I figured all this string needs to do is wrap around here a couple of times maybe, and then just tie off on this point here. And that would allow me to pull a little indicator along. So that part made sense. Now when I got this, it had a spring here on this little tab, and it went back here on the string. I spent hours scouring the internet trying to find some information on this, and there was nothing. Then I remembered Manuel Caldera had done a radio similar to this, and I wondered if he had any accidental footage of it. So I went through about 3 of the videos on this radio, which is much the same as this one, and there was one shot of him moving that dial, and that spring didn't compress or extend. Then I saw another shot of it, and I could see a bit of string tied into this spot here. So what they've done is tied a bit of string here, wrapped it around here once perhaps, and back here to act as a tensioning device so the wheel won't go backwards once you've gone full extent to the left. So that's the theory I've adopted, and I'll see how it works. So I'll try and tie it off now. So what I'll do is I'll take the string out of here and I'll just tie some sort of knot on this end. Something like that. That'll do. I should be able to hook it in here. All right. If I pull that around there, I just need to wrap the string around here once, like that. Get the string up there, line up with that, and I'll pull this through here, like that. Okay. I'll just wind this as far to the what would be the right speaker. There we go. And on this end, I'll tie that with just a minimal amount of pull on that string. So something like that. And if I put a little mark there, that's where I want it to go. All right, I'll tie that off. I'll come back. I've tied that off and that amount of string is perfect. So it is working, but it tends to want to come back by itself. I've been winding this back and forward a bit. It's staying there, but I think I should have put another wrap on it and get this knot further up and let it run into its own little track. I've just got an idea it might eventually work its way off, although I doubt it. But I'll put another wrap on there anyway and I'll come back. I thought before I do that second wrap, I'll put this tensioning string on, and that way it can run over the top of the tensioning string and not the other way around. So I think that goes like that, and the little spring goes in here like that. And on Manuel's little video there, he had it stretched about like that. So I'll tie it off like that, put the other two wraps on, and we'll see if it works. I finally finished this thing. That is centered there as I'm looking at it. The camera's a bit different, and this is centered here. The actual center point is between these two marks here, not that big one. Now if I wind it, it winds along that way, and then winds back that way. This is the spring end of the indicator, and I've tied a little loop around there, and then my knots ended up in the middle. But anyway, that's okay. I'll tie off all the loose bits of string and put some nail polish on, and this will be done. That's all done. I've tidied up the string ends and put some nail polish on. And for his help, I'd like to bestow Manuel with the Australian League of Legends Award. Thanks again, Manuel. I've replaced the caps as required. They were mostly electrolytics. Change these two black ones here. They were across the output transformer. So I'll turn it over and we'll see if it still works. I've turned it on. It should have warmed up. I'll turn it up a bit. Let's see what it sounds like. I'll just go off that for a second. Back off it again for a second. Sorry, I'm just trying to avoid copyright, but that's a good song, nice and clear. That's very clear. So I'm not going to touch anything. I don't need to adjust any of the FM. I'll see what's next on the list. The sliding indicators at the top of the dial are working. That's done. That was the balance. The magic eye. Let's have a look at that one. Well, there's the magic eye that's in there, and it has got the very slightest bit of green in there. I've got another one here. I'll try that. I'll turn it back on. This looks to be a brand new one. So we'll see how this one goes. If this doesn't work, we'll have to check some voltages. There it is. Oh, it's not doing much, is it? It's just there. I'll go to AM. Oh, that's better. I haven't got much of an FM signal here, so that's working all right. Yeah, that's fine. I'll just check the voltages on this the resistor here should have about 100 on one side. It's got 100. And the other side should be about 150 or 250 I mean. So we've got 266. Okay, that'll do. Last night when I was using this, there was some crackling coming from this volume control. I'll see if I can get some fader spray in there. I'll work that in. Actually, that's freed it up a bit. Yeah. I'll see if I can get a bit of WD into the shaft. I think it's just dried out a little. Oh, that's way better. Okay. These tone switches are working all right, but I'll just give them a quick spray of deoxit, and I'll try and just move them around a bit, clean them up. Right, that'll do. I'll keep working those. I'll turn it over and do the keys on the bottom. Here's the keys, and the switches are vertical on this one, so it's a bit hard to get in there. I think the best I can do is put it in here. That'll do. I'll turn it back over. I'll just work the switches a bit, and I think that'll do us. Alright, it's all back together. It's looking pretty good. So I can give it a try. I'll put it on FM. Alright, that should have warmed up. Sounds great. Just when you want some talking.
Or suspected of having carried it out or being behind it.
That's a long way away, that station.
Would that pay ransom if asked? Our policy is no, to be honest, until you're in that situation.
A digger was used
I'll
to
just
collect
take
the
that
dog
off
that had fallen
the tone
into the water
controls.
after
So now these two tone wheels will work.
Plus, the Maggie May iced fruitcake is only $10
So that's working.
The supermarket giant coming out on top as the best value basket.
Yeah, so they're both working. So I'll put it on medium wave. It should be on a station.
And to participate, to bring economic activity to this reef, which will be important while this difficulty is happening. At the state level,
I'll turn that up.
The state government plans to roll out $3 million in travel.
Yeah, so it's working all right too. That's good.
He could be sportsman Italy.
Was there issues in relation to housing?
Yeah, so that works well. I do have my phone plugged in here, so I'll put it on Gram, or recorder, whatever they want to call it. I've got some music here on my phone. So that works well. I did have a bit of a problem. The back of the glass was very, very dusty, and I got a very light brush and just brushed it off, and it took off some of the paint. So I haven't slept for a night, and I don't know what to do. Now, this doesn't belong to me. I've got to give it back to the owner with bits of paint missing. It's devastating. I'm absolutely devastated. So take that as a lesson. Don't touch the back of these things. Just leave it. I really thought this would be all right because this paint's usually pretty good, but all right. Anyway, so I've got to fess up to the owner. So anyway, otherwise went all well. Oh, hang on, let's have a look at the balance. I just realised I had the balance all the way over to the left, so I wasn't even balanced when I was testing it. There's the two windows, and you can see this one's black and this one's black, and there's the two whites. So if I turn the balance, off they go. They're a little bit off. I need to just adjust them slightly to the left, but they're not too bad. So that came up good. They look great. An update with the dial glass. I told the owner about it. He came and picked the radio up. He said, don't worry about it. You can barely see it. So he wasn't concerned at all. I'm very grateful to him. It could have gone pretty bad, I guess. So thanks very much to the owner, and we'll go back to the video. Well, there's just a quick repair. I managed to drag it out, of course, as I always do. But it's very nice radio. It sounds very good. I've had it running for a few hours now, and it's perfect. It doesn't miss a beat. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I hope you can join me for my next radio adventure. Sounds fantastic.